Welcome to my review of this kind of impulse decision to buy the deluxe version of the Iron Man 3 Mark 42 quarter scale figure by Hot Toys. Apparently I have a fondness for them because I keep buying them, and since there aren't many reviews up on YouTube yet, I thought I'd share my first impressions while I unbox this thing. So here we go. Alright, so here's the art box. I'm not going to spend too much time here because literally I don't care too much about it. The back side with the cool hologram logo from Marvel Limited Edition. Whoever worked on this thing. The sides with the flaps that open up, and then the whole box that slides out of this sleeve. The beautiful embossed and superimposed mask. And another flap that comes apart. Let's open this thing up further. Let's take the plastic out. Just slide this thing out. Let's see if this is the front. And it is. Yeah, I see what people are saying. On some forums, people are complaining that these airbrushed bits are a bit unsubtle. I would tend to agree. So the one thing that bothered me is these scratches. I don't know if they show up in the movie, but it's almost like they're now part of the design and change the look of the eyes. It's hard to explain, but it kind of bothers me. Not too crazy about that. I like this. I'm going to stick with the fact that Hot Toys stole that idea from me from inserting the face into the mask on the Mark 43. You know I'm kidding, of course. And I think it looks good. I think it looks a lot better than the Mark 43 did. Sorry, the Mark 42, and I'm talking about the die-cast 6 scale figure. The gold just looked off to me on that figure. This one definitely works a lot better if you look at it in person. I might be tempted to tweak that a little bit. There's a lot of things that just that's just a lot more accurate on the quarter scales, especially around the groin area, where the groin and the shoulders, usually those look off, sometimes the face mask too. To get the articulation right is my best guess, but yeah, if you look at the actual figure and then look at the movie stills, there's just something that's way more accurate when you look at the quarter scale figures. It's not only that they can put in better detail, but like I said, it's the different dimensions that make the difference. And it's the same design as I remember from the other two, with the stick and bolt joint pivot that allow for a lot of mobility and posability with the shoulder pads, and most importantly, you always get a nice snug fit. So that works for me. I like that. So first thing I would do is remove the helmet, place that back here, and put in the very cool head sculpt. I always think the masked face sculpt is the most usable, because in the movies you don't really see Robert Downey Jr. You don't see his face without the mask, so it's usually on the movie posters that you see that. So there's a lot of extras that come with the deluxe edition, and from what I've read, it's going to be a little bit fiddly to set up the base, so I don't know if I'm going to do that off or on camera. I do get a kick out of the fact that they used the same kind of mesh I'm using on my custom Mark 43 for this. So let's just say that the biggest compliment I can give this piece is that, based on what I'm seeing here, I'm not tempted to immediately grab my pencils my paint and my airbrush. So I think the weathering looks really excellent. I really love the extra weathering they did on the little robot arms compared to the actual suit-up gantry that was a little bit too much like standard yellow plastic. They really did a bang-up job, I think. I really like the inside of the face mask. Nice detailing. Very good. I can't be sure if it's... I mean, there's always something there, but this looks somehow a little bit different. There are also the missile parts, same as the Mark 43, really. And those are attached by magnets, so I'm not going to use it, but I'll show you guys like that. And then there are the actual missiles. You see the little pin on the border and you just slide it in. I'm taking back what I said, because if you add all the battle damaged pieces, you're left with the same problem you're always left with, and that is that there's an unevenness. This looks almost pristine. This knee looks almost pristine. So I'll be doing some subtle weathering to even things out a little bit more, make it a bit more balanced, because I do think it's really very cool. So here you go. Look, this is the look with the face mask, and let's lift it up. Very cool. Let's attach the hands as well. I will be using the posable hands because I want to be able to have them hold the face met plate and the battery that's in the kit as one of the posing options. So I want to be able to maneuver and manipulate the hands. Though generally I am a fan of using the pre-posed hands whenever you want something close to that. Not only because it is more realistic than you could ever get with the with these hands. Looking at the bends you can make with the fingers, you couldn't do that with the actual posable hands. I like the rubber, black rubber that comes through the metal parts. So usually if I'm planning on using a fist, I'll use the pre-posed fist. Yeah, you see the back is way too clean as well. Why is this part loose? I'll have to look into that later. Okay. So, let's get out the battery and the cables. Yeah, it looks okay. I would have liked a little bit more of a metal look, especially for this, which is definitely supposed to be metal. I know they can do it, so Hot Toys, that's something to look out for the next time. Here's the, what do they call that again in the movie? The noisy cricket? No, that's Man in Black. Something like that anyway. This is the employed pose. This is where it's supposed to fit in the back. Right here. Oh, it does sit better when you give it a push. Alright, so that covers what I'm going to be using, at least, of this part of the extras. Let's put her down so it doesn't fall and open up this part. Very cool. Bunch of batteries I won't be using. If anything, if I feel like it, I'm going to put AC power at least in the base. So here are all the plastic parts. Very cool to see the bare plastic and then what they can do with it once you paint it. That's what I love about my job as a customizer, turning some boring old plastic like this into something like that. Very good. there's the base. Nice metal effect on the grid here, on the grill, on the whatever it is. Yeah, pretty good. Then there are the hoses. And then there's the translucent pole. I usually don't use them. Never had a figure fall, so why start now, right? Now, I want to check something. From the Budget Stark review I saw, they did some very stupid. And that's right, they put a switch right where you won't be able to access it once you put the thing together. Mind-boggling. I have to be honest here. That's crazy. All right, so now let's open the manual. How to assemble the base. It also allows us access to the stickers we're going to be using on this thing here. I really like the detailing on this thing. Let's see if I can get a close-up for you. Nice bit of detail. Yep, definitely. So, these go underneath the base, these arms. These just press into the sides. These go in the front. And then the hoses, there's a lot of holes where you can stick them. You're free to do that. Show you the bottom of the way I did it. But I think there are several ways you can do this. Whatever you want. Another small point. You can clearly see the mold marks here. A little bit of quality control there, but I don't want to be too picky. Alright, so and then there are some general cautions for paint rub, and the best tip since: don't eat yellow snow, do not drop it, especially not on your foot. Thanks Hot Toys, wouldn't have come up with that myself, because I am a stupid Dutchie. By the way, let's see if we can find where the stickers for the car battery go. Okay, so they're telling me not to drop the figure, but they're not telling me where all these stickers are supposed to go. Where I'm pretty sure there are more stickers than there's room. Yeah, 3 of the large ones. Again, you're not making sense, Hot Toys. Alright, I'm figuring one on the top, on the sides, the large ones here. And I don't want to put one on the bottom, that's just silly. Alright, let's start with the first pose. It's kind of cool because it's very movie accurate, but I don't like the mask without the face mask on top of it. As you can see, I use the battery. Along with the lack of instructions when it comes to where to put all the decals, all the stickers that come with the battery, there's also no instruction on where to put the cable, so I finally just slid them under here until they stuck. That's good enough for me, but kind of weird with all the instructions, including the don't drop it sign. You just leave that kind of thing out. So let's compare it to my custom Mark 43 that's sitting slightly back of this figure. When it comes down to this, it comes down to personal taste. I've always liked the color scheme of the Mark 43 with more red and the gold as an accent color. But I must say the Mark 42 Deluxe is a really impressive figure. I love the base. I really love the base. I love all the display options, the accessories, so that's good. So let's go for a second pose. I like this pose as well. This might be the pose I'm going to display it in first. I also would have liked the face mask to sit a little bit higher, but this is as high as it'll go without the magnets pulling it back. They do make a pretty cool pair, I must say. Yeah, so it's a really cool figure. Should you get it? Only if you really like the Mark 42 suit. I don't think it adds a lot to the Mark 43, which I still think is #1 with I love the suit better, you know. I love the diorama base. The separate face sculpt is wonderful. The Mark 45, that's my favorite suit, but it was a very empty box. There were very little accessories, so, and it doesn't have a face sculpt. Now, the Mark 43, as long as you get the deluxe, you do get a lot of extras, but you pay for those extras. So when it comes to price performance, the Mark 43 beats it out again, because for all this extra, you do pay a hefty price tag that is higher than what you used to pay for the Mark 43 back then. Yeah, so like I said, if you're a fan of the suit, the Iron Man 3 movie, this is a definite get. I mean, I really love it, but it's not the #1 for the quarter scale Iron Mans for me. So signing off, and talk to you in the next video. By the way, as you might remember, I teased the Hoth Chewie I will be doing as a custom later, and to up the ante, check out what I got. Peter Mayhew got in on it. So whoever buys the 1/6 scale Chewie from me gets this awesome signed 1/6 scale Chewie photograph with Peter Mayhew's signature on it as well. And while we're in the process of giving you some cool updates, check out the very cool additions we made to the Tantive 4 service diorama. You see the beautiful black corrugated tubing, the PVC piping, and we made some custom tanks. We're still working on getting the 2 on the bottom as well as the 2 on the top. So that will be part of this diorama, and of course I still have the deluxe and the budget D12 dioramas, doing the last batch of those now, and then that will be it for this particular design. So stay tuned.